Being an entrepreneur can suck. There, I said it. Now, I promise this video is not going to be negative, but I do want to talk to you about some of the realistic aspects of being an entrepreneur and how you can make it a little less sucky. When you have an initial business idea or that project that makes you excited, you can see your path forward with it, how you're going to make money with it, how you're going to solve someone's problem, just how you're going to make the world better with your idea. Everything is great and it's sunshine and roses. And you see yourself just going down this beautiful path lined with flowers and everything is great. But as you move forward, things kind of change a little bit. You see that there's sometimes a fork in the road and you don't know which way to go. You choose a path, or you see a cute little fluffy bunny rabbit and you follow that bunny rabbit down that path and you end up at a dead end. And sometimes you are on the right path, but then it starts to rain. And you might think, am I doing the right thing? Because things aren't going well. And we have to know that rain is not always bad. Just like in nature, rain brings growth. When running a business or being an entrepreneur, there are always going to be things that you don't enjoy. There are going to be challenges that you face and that you're going to have to push through and grow from. If you clicked on this video because you're an entrepreneur and you are going through some tough times, maybe you're experiencing burnout, maybe you're at a point where you need to make a decision and you're not sure what you should do. By the end of this video, I hope you're seeing your journey as an entrepreneur slightly different and it gives you the motivation to push forward. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Shalise and my channel is all about that ultimate quest of living your dream life and enjoying yourself while you do it. I help entrepreneurs start and grow their businesses without being overwhelmed or burnt out. Entrepreneurs are problem solvers by nature. We see a problem, and then we have an idea of how we can solve that problem. Most of the time, these are problems that we solve for ourselves or someone close to us. But we see a need, we come up with a solution, and then we try to market that solution to help as many people as we can. Now, most of the time, we as entrepreneurs aren't formally trained. A lot of us haven't gone to school for business or have had formal training on how to run a business. We see a need or we have a hobby and we jump right into it and start a business. For example, if you know how to make jewelry, it might have started as you making jewelry for yourself. You might have gone on the internet or found some kind of online training and figured out how to make jewelry. You made jewelry for yourself. People start to see it and they were saying, okay, I would love to buy that from you. And from there, it turned into a business. Now, you might have become an expert in making that jewelry, but there's a lot that goes into running a business. So now you have an e-commerce business and all you know how to do is make jewelry. You don't know how to properly source your goods. You don't know bookkeeping. All of these things you kind of learn as you go. You might learn marketing, but you kind of learn all of the different areas that go into running a business, just, YouTube University or figuring it out as you go. And this can be kind of stressful. You started off with something that you love doing. You liked making jewelry. And of course you like the idea of being able to make money from it, being able to survive or not having to work a 9-to-5 job. So you want to grow this business to where you're really making money. But that can be hard when you just don't know all of the aspects of running a business and what you can run into. Figuring it out as you go describes my journey in entrepreneurship to a T. I have started one business, figured out that wasn't quite the right direction, and it's turned into something else. One thing has led to another. And I'm basically learning as I go. Now for me, this is what I find interesting about being an entrepreneur. I love figuring things out. I love developing new strategies. So I don't find that part particularly frustrating, but I can see how this can be frustrated for a lot of entrepreneurs. For a lot of us with online businesses, business was booming 2020, 2021, and then things start to change as life starts to go back into our new normal. So what do? How do you go from figuring it out as you go to something a little bit more stable? This is where you want to find a proven strategy or framework for your business. You can do this by finding other entrepreneurs that have done what you're trying to do. This might be in the form of a coach or a mentor, or you can find a group of entrepreneurs that you can collaborate with. For me, I've mostly found what I call my online mentors. I love Myron Golden, I love Russell Bronson, and there are a few others that I listen to for both inspiration and strategy. And then I turn to things like books and courses classes, and of course, coaching. All of these are things that I've done to help me in my business. I'd like for you to take a few seconds to like this video and subscribe to my channel. It is really important to the growth of my channel so I can continue to keep making videos that will provide value to you. And I thank you and appreciate you for sharing your time with me by watching. The next obstacle that a lot of entrepreneurs face is that you end up working a lot of hours. Most of us want to be entrepreneurs because we want to leave that 9 to 5 and not work for somebody else. And then we end up trading working 40 hours a week for working 80 hours a week on our own business. Now granted, if I've got to work extra time or overtime, I want it to be for my business, but I'd rather have a business to where it is making money for me and that I still have time to enjoy my family and my freedom and travel and things like that, because that's really what we're ultimately going for, a lifestyle that we want, not a business that we have to slave away on and we're tired all the time. But how do we get out of this? Because there are just so many jobs to be done. You've got making or providing the actual product or service for your customers, and then you have customer service, and you have bookkeeping, and you have marketing, and in marketing you have things like email marketing. And let's not talk about social media and how much time that can take, because that's just a whole different story in itself. I know when I first started my Etsy shop and things really got going, I was making planner stickers and I was making t-shirts. And I hit my first Q4 and I've got a set of t-shirts that was really selling through Q4. And it was kind of just me doing this on my own. Now I had orders coming in that I couldn't handle on my own, so I had to bring my fiance in and have him to actually do the pressing for me. And I was cutting vinyl and cutting sticker paper, which are two different things. And if you've ever run like a silhouette cameo and had to go from vinyl to stickers and registration marks and all of that drama, you know what I mean. But it was a lot. So I had all these orders coming in, and all of a sudden I was up until 2 a.m., 3 a.m. easy trying to get orders out of the door. If you guys are Etsy sellers or know anything about Etsy, you have a processing time that you set for your orders, and you have to meet that processing time or your score on Etsy goes down. And you don't want your score on Etsy to go down because that will affect how your listings go out. So you're trying to get orders out on time to keep your customers happy. And really you should be doing that in any business, whether there's a platform that's holding you to that processing time or not, but that's just the way that goes. So I was spending all of this time, and then I pulled my fiance in and he's spending all of this time. And let's not forget, I still had a full-time job. So now I'm running a business. It's doing what I wanted it to do. I have sales coming in, but I also am spending all of my time on the business and barely getting any sleep. So my life is suffering from this business model that I set up myself. So how do we fix this? How do we go from our business taking up all of our free time? What we want to do is go from working in our business, which is where we've just created another job for ourselves, to being the owner of the business, to where we strategize, build the business, and the business works for us to increase our life and make us more happy, not just putting us in another state of working overtime. So how do we do this? How do we go to owning our business and not working for our business? Well, to do this, you have to do things like implement automations in your business. So automate as much of the processes as you can, and we have to delegate. And delegation means that you might need to bring on freelancers or hire employees, but you're basically going to need help. And ultimately what you want to do is pull yourself out of the business to where you have others that are running the business for you. You can strategize, look over the business, see what's going on, but you aren't needed. You aren't a roadblock in your business. That's another thing that happened for me. In my Etsy shop, I became the roadblock. Even when I brought in extra help, I was still intermingled into the shop. And when things broke down and there was a breakdown in the process, it was usually because I was in there as a roadblock. I had way too many things to do and I was causing a problem. Things got a lot better when I was able to pull myself out of the shop. Another thing about being an entrepreneur that can be kind of sucky is that you feel like you're chasing money. You don't have enough money coming in, so you need to start a side hustle. So your business is developed out of need. So when you start making sales, you can't really just take that money out of the business and use it to take care of your family. You need to keep that money inside of your business. Your business has developed a healthy cash flow and you have to be making a profit before you can even think about pulling money out of the business to take care of yourself personally. You can find yourself on this hamster wheel where you're chasing money, trying to come up with new ideas just to bring in more money, but you're barely scratching the surface with your profit. I've admitted it multiple times, but my Etsy shop started with the spaghetti on the wall strategy. I started with stickers, then I went to t-shirts, and I just started many different things. I was just throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what would stick. I didn't really have a definite target audience in mind. Well, I started off with one, but I couldn't figure out how that target audience would benefit from t-shirts, and I knew I just wanted to make t-shirts. So then I just started making t-shirts that I thought were trendy, ones that I like, or I did do a little research and figure out what would sell, but I had no definite strategy to what I was doing when I first started. Now, of course, I've changed this, and I have different strategies for my different Etsy shops. This just goes to show that as an entrepreneur, I just wanted to make money and get started, and I didn't know exactly what I was doing, so I was just doing, whatever would work. So how do you get out of this? How do you get away from chasing money and start actually building a business with a strategy? This takes stepping back and figuring out an actual strategy for your business. Now, if you've already started your business, you can just pause for a minute and figure these things out so you know your path forward. Or if you're just getting started and you're trying to figure out what business you want to start, then you need to do this now. But you're going to figure out exactly who your target audience is. What's the problem that you're trying to solve for them? And how you're going to solve that problem in a way that's automated, that's not going to burn you out or have you too enveloped in the business. By doing this, you know exactly what people you're trying to help, exactly how you're going to help them, which in turn is going to allow them to come to you or the money to come to you and not you chasing it. You'll easily be able to figure out the right mix of core products that will help your target customer, and you'll know exactly how to put yourself out there to where that target customer is attracted to you. Another thing that can suck about being an entrepreneur is that it can be lonely. Most of the time, you are the only one that understands what you're doing, the amount of sacrifice it takes, and understand the ins and outs of it. Your family won't understand, your spouse won't understand, your friends won't understand. When you're going through your highs and lows, most of the time you'll be experiencing that on your own. I've experienced this throughout my whole journey of being an entrepreneur. Nobody really quite understands me, and it's kind of like, that's just Sean over there doing her thing. And even now, my friends might ask me, well, what are you doing this weekend? And I am saying, I'm doing a YouTube video, or I'm working on this part of my business, or I'm working on that part of my business. And I can guarantee you they're like, oh, that's just Sean being Sean. I know that they don't get it. I know that when I experience a rush on views because of a video, or in my Etsy shop, if I'm having a good month, or when I'm even talking about getting prepared for Q4 in my Etsy shop, I know that they just don't get it. And when I'm going through a rough time, like I've done here recently, there was a brand that I was working with and I messed up an invoice. I know that they just don't get it, and I can't expect them to. But for me, what helps is surrounding myself with other entrepreneurs. I started this thing called Whiteboard Wednesday, and it kind of started from me and my son getting together. It just happened to be on Wednesdays where we would talk about a project that he's working on, and I would talk about different things that were going on in my business. And then we just started bringing other people into the conversation. Now, it is super cool what happens when you bring a group of people together. Everybody has a different perspective on things, and then you can kind of build the businesses out. We will talk about things for him, and he's more of a techie developer type, so he gets a different perspective on things when talking to me and some of the other people that join. And for me, being so involved in my business, it's good to get different ideas. So I'll give you an example. I was working on building the website for my membership site, me and my developer. And my developer and I were dead focused on how we wanted the design to be, and we got it all designed out up to a certain point. So I brought the website to Whiteboard Wednesday, put it up on the screen for everybody to see, and lo and behold, the people there were like, no, it's something wrong with this. I don't like the colors. We don't like what you're seeing here. This part looks a little scammy, and I couldn't see this. But when you're in a room and everybody kind of has the same reaction, you kind of have to stop and take notice. So I was able to go back to the drawing board, change the colors, and just by getting that feedback, the site turned out much better. And now when people see it, they say they can feel the same thing from the website that they feel when I tell them about the membership program. So that just shows you how getting with other entrepreneurs or other like-minded people with different perspectives and bouncing ideas off of each other can be really helpful and make you feel a lot less lonely in your journey of being an entrepreneur. If you're feeling lonely as an entrepreneur, I definitely recommend joining a community. I'll leave a link to my community in the description and you can come and check us out. We are a community of like-minded entrepreneurs that are building our businesses without being stressed out. That's the core. We want to grow and scale, but we want to enjoy our life because we know that the reason that we're building our businesses is so we can live a better life, give a better life to our family, and leave a legacy. But we don't want to burn out while we're doing that, or stress out, or sacrifice our health in the process. We want to live a holistically healthy life, a holistically wealthy life. As the name suggests, we want to be healthy, wealthy, and successful. So check out the link in the description to my community. And if it feels right to you, then we would love to have you. There are definitely parts of being an entrepreneur that suck, but I wouldn't give it up for the world. Anything that's worth doing has its not so great parts, but you can definitely push through. If you're currently in some of the sucky parts of being an entrepreneur, there are definitely things that you can do to turn things around. You don't have to figure it out as you go. You don't have to overwork yourself. You don't have to chase money, and you definitely don't have to do it alone. You have me and a community of entrepreneurs that can be with you, guide you, and support you along the way. I mentioned at the beginning of this video that if you made it to the end, I hope that you would see your journey as an entrepreneur in a different light, especially if you're feeling like it sucks right now. I want you to know that you are doing something great, and you should be excited about where you're going with your business. You are helping the world in a way that only you can because you are unique. I want you to get excited, join a community, and enjoy the process of building your business. I believe in you, and I'll see you in the next video.